Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome to our channel, where we dive into the most exciting and mysterious theories. Today, we will venture into the enigmatic and captivating world of the Digital Circus. This virtual world is full of mysteries, hidden meanings, and incredible stories that captivate minds and make us look at technology and reality from a new angle. Get ready for an exciting journey that will open doors to the unknown. I think TADC will explore various ways in which a person could cope with a situation of being trapped in a fake world and take them all to logical extremes. As with Jax, he looks at it like a hacker. None of them are real, fake people aren't real. So it doesn't matter if I kill them and break things. Hell, what if that's how we get out? What if you can break enough things for the entire code to fall apart and the game to shut down? I find this idea the most interesting because I genuinely think that's how I would react to the whole situation. Like, if none of this crap has consequences, then why not see how far you can really go? Act crazy and see how the game reacts. It's like an option in a dialogue tree when a player sees it and thinks, okay, no one ever says this, but it's crazy enough that I want to see what happens if I do. Kinger's reaction is the most realistic because he literally just went mad. Like he locked himself in a magical land and lost it. At this point, he almost seems to believe that it's all real, calling himself a real king and not just a guy who happened to end up in a chess piece's body. He's at the point where he's just maniacal and has accepted that this is now reality. Ragatha is more like one of the earlier mentalities, like she arrived quite recently. Her idea is to just play the game as it was meant to be played. Go on an adventure, save the kingdom. Oh no, the bad guys are here. She's still trying to rationalize all of this and behave as if it's real, but after a while, it will probably become harder and harder for her to pretend that she cares about the next NPC's problems. One way or another, she will face eternity being stuck here. And when the game stops working, she will have to find something that does. Pomni is so new to all this that she's still going through the stages of grief. She's so busy with all these new things that she hasn't had to sit down and figure out how to react. And most importantly, she still thinks there's a way out. When she's forced to realize that she's stuck here forever, she'll have to figure out what to do next. As for Gangle and Zubli, I'm honestly not sure. Maybe it's because they haven't gotten as much screen time yet, but I can't read them in comparison. So IDK, if anyone has any ideas, LMK, I think, why do you think only Ragatha and Jax called out Pomni's name during the nightmare? I noticed that at the start of the nightmare, Pomni only hears two voices calling her name, Ragatha and Jax. It makes sense for Ragatha's voice to be present, but why Jax and not Kinger or Gangle or maybe even Zubul? Later in the episode, it's confirmed that Pomni doesn't consider Jax a friend or even a potential ally. So it's interesting that his voice appears in her dream, concerned. My hypothesis is that they were the ones accompanying Pomni to check on Kaufmo, so she ultimately associated them with the abstraction. But even so, it's interesting to think about. I've been thinking about these theories since the pilot episode and when I learned about the ages of the characters. Laugh at me if you want, Jax and Zubli are the youngest participants. They are 22 years old and they have been there for many years. As Jax stated in the pilot episode, it made me wonder if maybe Jax and Zubul came to the circus as teenagers, which explains Jax's sharp, rebellious attitude and the fact that Zubul hasn't figured himself out yet. On the other hand, Kinger and Pomni seem to have some knowledge of how the digital world works. It's a bit stretched with Pomni, and I'm fueled by some other theories. In the second episode, Pomni mentioned that something is under the map, which leads me to think that she knows something about programming or games in some way. This makes me think that maybe the circus performers were employees of CNA. Additionally, Gangle is an artist, which could link her to this, being a character designer or the circus itself. Though I don't know what role Ragatha holds yet. Returning to my first thought, I think maybe Zubul and Jax were children of the boss or another higher-ranking employee, because why else would children be allowed in the office unless they got into some unfortunate circumstance? The thought that Zubul and Jax might be brother and sister has crossed my mind, though I'm not sure about it at the moment. If you think about it, Jax's resemblance to an animal could symbolize how he behaves depending on the environment. He is connected to Zubli by being the youngest, but differs in that he has been in the circus much longer. Maybe he was even a teenager when he was torn away from his lifestyle and goals in the real world. Perhaps that's why he resorts to cynicism and mischief. Jax also gets the most out of silly adventures, which is why he seems so different in the second episode. He was actively coercing and manipulating the other characters to make sure the bandit capture went according to his plan. Meanwhile, there's not much fun in checking out a crazy clown, so Jax was more carefree and dismissive in the pilot episode. Organisms behave differently when their environment changes, and humans are no exception. What the circus inhabitants actually are. Discussion: maybe others see her as the fool and clown, always laughed at behind her back. The fool's form is made to embody this. Gangle, Chach, pretends to be happy but is actually hurting inside. Her feelings are tied up in a knot and constantly changing. Ragatha takes punishment after punishment, hurting deeply inside. But she does it because she cares about others. Jax looks like a joker with an indifferent facade but hides a heart of pain and uses others' pain as a form of escape to make himself feel strong and useless. Zubli strives to make himself perfect, tries to change himself, and has never accepted himself as he is. Kinger always has duties on his back, always bears burden after burden, never allowed himself free time and constantly waited for a task to be completed. This is what I think the circus inhabitants actually represent. Your theory about the circus characters sounds fascinating. Let's try to expand it a bit more. Fool and clown. Maybe the fool not only embodies laughter and lightness, but also hides deep thoughts and wisdom. Perhaps he uses his role to observe other characters and reveal their weaknesses. Maybe his foolishness is a deception, and he is actually a strategist playing on societal expectations. Gangle. Her inner conflict might be related to her inability to show her pain and vulnerability. Perhaps she suffers from something she cannot share with others. Her mask of happiness might be a way of protecting herself from others seeing her weakness. Ragatha. Her self-sacrifice might be related to her past or family circumstances. Maybe she feels obliged to help others due to some tragic loss. Her inner conflict might be between her own happiness and caring for others. Jax. His facade of indifference might hide deep emotions. Perhaps he suffers from something he doesn't want to show. Using others' pain as a form of escape is an interesting aspect. Maybe he tries to escape his own problems by focusing on others' pain. Zubli. His striving for perfection might be related to his past or flaws he wants to overcome. Perhaps he is afraid to accept himself as he is and therefore constantly changes himself. Kinger. His constant bearing of burdens might be related to the duties he has taken on. Maybe he feels responsible for others. Perhaps he needs to find a balance between duties and personal freedom. And so our journey into the mysterious world of the digital circus comes to an end. We hope you found it as interesting as we did, unraveling the mysteries and diving into incredible theories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell to not miss new exciting episodes. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments. We are very interested to know what you think. Until next time, dear friends, stay with us, as many more exciting discoveries and adventures lie ahead. See you soon!